I F21 am always paying for my boyfriend M21. How do I get him to see that this is unfair? I am constantly paying for everything. Movie tickets, Ubers, food, dates, you name it. The minute I ask him to pay, he genuinely gets upset. What kind of bullshit is that? I am totally okay with going 50-50, but he works a good paying job, and I'm currently doing college working at a Walmart. I'm not the type to say that it's the man's responsibility to pay for everything, because I like to treat him once in a while, but it gets to a point. I recently bought concert tickets, and I asked him if he could pay his ticket, $211, and he said it's too much. I know he has money, because he doesn't spend it on anything, no bills, nothing. He's living with me and my parents. How can I get him to understand this? Stop paying for things. Honey, that's a homosexual. He knows, and he doesn't care. He doesn't spend it on anything, no bills, nothing. He's living with me and my parents. He's fully mooching off you. Change the dynamic ASAP. Nope. Start saying, I don't have the money to pay for us both, but I'm happy to pay for my own if you want to go out. You 3 choices. 1. Accept it and keep paying. 2. Give him an ultimatum, and if he won't split expenses, then bounce. 3. Just bounce now, because you can't do number 1, and you know he won't do number 2. You tell him with your adult words. It's shitty, but it's important. Babe, I love dating you, but real talk. I'm really frustrated with how financially inequitable our relationship is. I find it really frustrating to be paying everything when we both have jobs. I'm not sure what you're spending your money on because you live with me and my parents. I'm trying to understand where your money is going that you can't pay for dinner or an Uber or rent or a movie ticket. If he pushes back, ask him outright, is your money going to weed, booze, and of? See what he says. But babe, you're dating a homosexual, and he's financially abusing you. I don't want to get divorced. Husband M33 told me F31 he hid it from me to not hurt me. So my husband of almost 5 years came clean to me about texting with another woman. He came clean because he thought I saw a text she sent while I was playing a game on his phone. He tried his best to give 0 details though, but I had seen a woman's photo on the profile, so I knew it was another woman. For context, before we even started dating, I told him that I had many issues because of my parents' relationship, and that, as exaggerating as it may be, I drew a very thick line in some aspects. Cheating is a big no, no second chances, and just thinking of doing it is betrayal to me. He accepted it and said he would never hurt me. Fast forward to yesterday, the anxiety killing me, I went and asked if he had had any feelings for this woman he had randomly texted while we were waiting at the airport together, watching our children play. He said yes, a few years before we met. I asked him why would he text her? He replied that he suddenly wondered what happened to her. Then, I asked him if he came clean to me only because he thought I read the conversation. He said yes. I quote, I was hiding it from you. I knew that it would hurt you. If he knew he'd hurt me, why would he do it? Then, he started saying I was crazy, that he couldn't have any female friends anymore, that he needed my permission for everything, that I could have his phone and check everything if I wanted. But he didn't think he was wrong. I don't care that he texted her, but that he felt he had to hide it. It broke the trust one had blindly given him. I had never ever questioned anything he did or said before, until now. I look at him, and I only see a person willing to lie and hide things, someone I can't ever trust. I know myself, and I will never trust him again. I will be wondering if he's texting someone else, seeing someone. And that's not the life I want. I want to be able to trust blindly and not get hurt. I asked for the divorce, but he wants a second chance. I am not willing to give it at this moment. I can't. Any advice from anyone that has gone through something similar? I truly need it. Edit. No, I do not tell my husband what to do or whom to contact. He has plenty of female friends I know, female colleagues, etc. This particular woman, I have no idea of who she is. He had never mentioned her, and it seemed he would have never mentioned her if those things hadn't happened. On the contrary, he is the one always wary of who I'm texting. My physical therapist was a young man, and when I told him, he immediately suggested that I liked him. I didn't even choose, it's a praxis, and you get random doctors. Anyway, I haven't asked to see the texts yet. I will do that tonight. I don't think it will change the way I see him now. Like I said, it wasn't the texting so much as the needing to hide it. I never hide anything from him, even if I know he won't like it, and he might get mad at me. So I expected the same respect and courtesy. You know your own mind. Divorce is the only solution for you. Do you need confirmation that it's okay to have the feeling of being betrayed? You were. You may really want to get therapy for all the damage your parents left behind before you think about another relationship. Best to you. Ask to see all the text. Yes, I'm glad you are strong with your boundaries. No trust, no relationship. You don't need to ask his permission for a divorce. Just serve him the papers and shut down on him as a person. Only focus on co-parenting factors. He wants a second chance, but zero responsibility for causing the problem. If he suddenly wondered what happened to her, he could Google her, look up her Facebook or Instagram, ask mutual friends. He doesn't need to text her. That's a really lame excuse. He texted her while you were right there, with your kids. That's a bold move. I wouldn't believe this for anything. And he knew it would hurt you, and he did it anyway. You should care that he texted her. You should care that he hid it. You sound like you're in total denial about this. If you don't want a divorce, at least insist on marital counseling. He's taking no real accountability here. I told you my stance from the moment we got together, and you agreed, yet here you are. A marriage is nothing without trust, and I know I will never be able to trust you again. I, 42M, am separated from my 42F wife and have a friend who wants to be FWB. I've been off and on separated from my wife for months now. She made it clear that we are done. I'm not at her house anymore, and we aren't talking except for logistic things. She is poly and has other relationships. I'm not looking for romance or anything, just fun. This is a FWB from years ago, but someone who I am attracted to. We have been flirting over text, sending photos and whatnot. But I'm anxious and don't know how to get past feeling like I'm cheating. I always told my wife, and meant it, that I didn't want anyone but her. I feel like now that I'm looking elsewhere I'm betraying that. How do I move past these feelings and be okay with moving on? Go for it. Your wife is going to move on as well. So you're thinking you're cheating on your wife, who's sleeping around already. Bro, your wife doesn't give a F about you or what you do. Smash that FWB like the Hulk. Fine. It's a consensus then. I'm doing it. Those words were meant for the person that cared about you, not who she actually is now. If she poly, she probably fucking already, bro, sorry to say. I'm in similar boat. My wife kicked me out and my homegirl's BD ran out on her, so now my homegirl wants to fuck. I won't do anything without knowing my wife, if sleeping with someone else. Why are you still married? Cut the cord and live the rest of your life. How to convince my 32F sister-in-law, 34F, to send her son, 10M, to public school. TLR, I need advice on how I can gently convince my SIL 34F to send her son, 10 male, to public school. She is wholly unable to teach him, and my state has zero standards for homeschooling. My SDL knows very little, and is interested in even less. She insists on homeschooling her son, who is now 10. She is stay-at-home, and also has a toddler, 2F. She and I actually went to high school together, so I've known her for a long time. I have no children, and she frequently tells me she is miserable, it is a trap, and not to have my own. She does constantly post about motherhood, and her second kid was a hard one rainbow baby. She is in individual and couples therapy. Just for context of our whole muddy situation. When I met my nephew, he was 6 and could not read at all. She told me after she heard me playing astronaut with him that she did not know black holes were real. I asked her if she watched The Theory of Everything, and she confirmed she had. I asked if she thought to Google black holes after that since it's not sci-fi. Nope. Not interested. We were playing a drawing game, and she had to draw Fidel Castro. She said she did not know who he was. I told her he was a communist leader of Cuba during the Cold War, and suggested she Google him because she would probably recognize him. She said she didn't care to. Her son also says this. He will ask me a question, and even if I pretty much know the answer, I'll suggest we look it up together. I'll give a simple answer like, fossils come from skeletons turning to stone under the right conditions, and say we can watch a video about it because I want to know more too. Point blank. I don't do that kind of thing. Little man is 10. What? His ability to have a conversation is horrible. I have never had such difficulty just having a back and forth with a kid. It doesn't help that his only real interests are video game IPs and streamers. I played plenty of games at his age, and still do. But I can tell him 10 times I do not watch streamers, I have not heard of his favorite streamer, etc., and he will keep asking me questions about specific stream videos like I have seen them. I think talking with peers would help him figure conversations out. She has no ideological reason not to send him to school. She is not religious. She is not anti-vax. She is not worried about woke teachers. When he was 7, she said no, because he might get bullied. She just finds it more convenient to homeschool him. I think she can't be bothered to get him in school, or put in the work to help him catch up and do homework she cannot do. He is not reading chapter books, and she has been unable to help him learn to calculate fractions. His therapist doesn't seem to think he has major disabilities. He is on ADHD meds. Therapy is mostly for suicidal ideation, however. So how much ADHD help he is getting. I am obviously a judgy bitch. But also, this kid is being failed massively. His stepdad, my brother, lets SIL make all the calls. But this is getting absolutely ridiculous. I'm waiting for her to get so in over her head on helping him that she gives up and sends him to school. But really that time has already passed, and he is in for another year of unfinished workbooks. My state has no mandatory standards for homeschooling. I do think she is a bit embarrassed about the whole thing and her own skills/knowledge. I definitely struggle to show grace with that because I'm a huge nerd and an all-around asshole. How can I approach the conversation with her? Maybe make the conversation about her. I don't know how you do it. A 10-year-old and a toddler. You deserve a break. You've done all you can do giving him a head start with homeschooling. If I were you, I'd enroll him in public school so you can get some time for yourself. Every time she complains about being overwhelmed, say, you really deserve a break. If he was in public school, you'd get a break. Is she keeping the kid with her so he can never actually leave her? Honestly, it sounds like she's not going to change as she's not interested. This is neglect. You can try talking to her again, assuming you've spoken to her about it before. But if nothing changes, you need to contact CPS. Just because there's no real regulations about homeschooling in your state does not negate the right every child has to an adequate education. He's at the age where he's picking up her opinions and absorbing them for himself. He's soon going to be old enough to not want to learn as it demonstrates his lack of knowledge, and he'll be embarrassed. Something needs to change now. I would be blunt and say that it is very unlikely he will be able to pass a GED to get an HS diploma at this rate, which will impact his ability to support himself as an adult. Have you asked your nephew what he'd like to be when he grows up? That could be an opening to both of them. Call CPS. While your state may not have standards, educational neglect is still a thing.